Hey, so you've been promoted from within, right? You were a great individual contributor in sales. You did an awesome job, but you got promoted. Now what? What do I do with that person that was sitting next to me, right? I can't date my coworkers anymore because frankly, they report to me. So that's a little bit different. And sometimes we've made friends. I hope you've made friends in sales. I know I certainly have. So it's important that we think about how do we change from being that individual contributor, having a bunch of peers, to now being a leader. Naftali, when you think about how that transition happens, how do we reconfigure, reimagine those relationships so that we don't just kiss people goodbye, but we transition into a new relationship?
Yeah, it's a really important question, Phil, and it goes beyond sales, but it's very common in sales as well, because so often, like we've been talking about in our conversations, I'm promoted because I'm successful, and the person who's above me wants more of that magic and just wants it sprinkled, far and wide. And if I can somehow replicate that and get more people to buy in and do those same behaviors, we're going to scale, we're going to grow exponentially, all that good stuff. So, but it's a real problem, because here I was buddy. I was kind of mingling around and whatnot, enjoying coffee together. Maybe we'd go out for a meal or just whatever that might look like in an interpersonal and social space. Now, all of a sudden, I'm the boss. And so I can't be chummy the way that I was. It's not professional. It's counterproductive. And it's going to get in the way of your ability to really help people scale, because the emotional piece will get in the way. It'll just complicate things, and I won't be able to have the objective clarity necessary to drive results. So I personally am a big believer in being above board. I like to, I don't want to say it like it is in a way that's harsh, but certainly to bring attention to or identify the elephant in the room and say, hey, now I'm not going to get into, before I pivot further, I'm not going to get into the issue of jealousy here, because that could also exist and we have to be careful with that. But let's even leave that alone and say, hey, I know yesterday, I was sitting next to you and we have a different relationship over here. Understand how I see my role, certainly get feedback from the team as well as how they see me in my new role, but to put it out there that my responsibilities are different. And so by definition, our relationship is going to change. I still want to be friendly with you, but it's going to look a little bit different. I may not be able to join you the way that I have in the past. I may have to have harder conversations than I did previously, because now ultimately I am responsible for your success, but I still value you and I still value our relationship. And I hope that you can work with me to reimagine the relationship in a way that helps both of us be as productive and as happy and as successful as possible. So I think right off the bat, if you can just sort of unpack that, let people know that you're thinking about it, you're not ignoring it, because ignoring it is the worst, right? We don't want to leave that unspoken and let people guess what you're thinking. You want to be, like I said, above board, clear and direct in what it is that you imagine moving forward. And at the same time, do not become aloof. Do not become distant. Find ways to maintain conversation, manage by walking around, provide the regular positive feedback, still find opportunity to enjoy coffee or lunch together on occasion, but just make sure to remove yourself enough that you know and they know that you're in a different place. And that, I think, could really frame how the success would look moving forward. What are your thoughts, Phil?
Yeah, I totally agree, right? You have to hit that elephant in the room right up front, because you want to address that before your team comes to you and addresses that. You want to lead that conversation, which means you get to frame it. So the sooner you do that, the better. I encourage you also to talk to your leader. How did that look? If they got promoted up, maybe there are some company policies that you need to think about, but lots of stuff here that you can think about when you reimagine and you rebuild those relationships, because again, we're not leaving them behind. We're just transitioning them into a new spot. Lots to say about this, though, Naftali. I know you could go much deeper on this, but the webinar, right? This is where
that's where it is. You definitely want to be registering for this one. It's going to be epic, and I really hope you join us.